Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu, Power BI Fundamentals, episode 3 of 14. The biggest mistake new Power BI users make is building a mission-critical report in their personal account, going on vacation, and leaving their entire team completely locked out of the data. The fix for this is understanding how to properly structure workspaces and collaboration. In Power BI, you have two distinct types of environments for your content. First, there is My Workspace. This is your personal sandbox. Every Power BI user gets one automatically. It is completely private. Use it to connect to sample data, test a new formula, or draft a layout before anyone else sees it. Do not use My Workspace for official company reporting. If you build the main sales dashboard here and then leave the company, your team will struggle to access or update that content. The solution is the standard workspace. This is a shared environment where teams collaborate on semantic models, reports, and dashboards. A workspace acts as a secure container for a specific project or department. When you create a workspace, you define exactly who can enter that container and what actions they can take. Consider a finance team building a Q3 financial report. You need multiple people contributing to the data, but you need strict control over who can change the final numbers. You enforce this using 4 distinct workspace roles. The first is the admin role. The workspace admin has total control over the environment. They can delete the entire workspace and they decide who gets access. The system administrator or the head of the finance data team takes this role. Next is the member role. Members manage the content and the flow of the workspace. They can add colleagues with lower permissions, update semantic models, and share the workspace items. A senior financial analyst who manages the Q3 reporting process needs this role. It allows them to keep the project moving and manage team access without needing to bother the admin for every small change. Then you have the contributor. This is the primary role for content creators. Contributors can create, edit, and delete reports and dashboards within the workspace. They cannot manage permissions and they cannot add new users. The analysts building the actual charts and tables for the Q3 report are given contributor access. They build the content, but they do not control the security boundaries. Finally, there is the viewer role. Viewers can look at reports, cross-highlight charts, and filter the data, but they cannot change the underlying content or structure. You assign this role to the finance directors who need to review the Q3 report and interact with the data before it is released to the wider company. That is the key insight. Permissions in a workspace apply to the entire container. You cannot grant someone contributor access to a workspace but restrict them from seeing one specific report inside it. The workspace is a single security boundary. If someone has access to the workspace, they can see all the content inside it, restricted only by the specific role you assigned them. The workspace structure forces you to treat reporting as a resilient team process. By keeping personal drafts isolated in My Workspace and moving team projects into shared workspaces with explicit roles, your data architecture remains stable and accessible regardless of who is in the office. That is your lot for this one. Catch you next time.